Okay, folks. Oh, that is loud, isn't it? Sorry about that. Just your 2-minute warning. We're starting off our demonstration programme here in Chef Live with our current Northwest Young Chef of the Year, Danny Young, who's going to be cooking. It's one of the dishes that you did, wasn't it, in the competition? Okay. So just another few little notices, really. We've got 10 chefs over the next 2 days coming to demonstrate for you. Everything's free. So timetables are on either side. Demonstrations are on the hour, every hour. And we're all involved in the hospitality business, so we will be having some people coming from time to time to eat and taste the dishes. They've donated money towards Hospitality Action to be able to do so. And we've got a little box here. If you've got a few bob spare, just to pop in there to help our fellow hospitality professionals, that'd be fantastic. So we'll get going in about a minute with Danny Young if you want to take a seat. We'll just have a little chat during the session about...
Yeah, that's fine. There's not much to do, like obviously 12 minutes in the bath, till that's ready, there's not... I'll get Sam doing a little bit of just dicing outside just because there's beetroot, so I don't want to get my hands full of red beetroot. That's alright.
Okay. You haven't got a jacket, have you, Chef?
Put the apron on.
Yeah, put the apron on then, yeah. Good call.
So, got a few I'll have to make a few mentions. Elaine's supplied all my fruit and veg, so fresh at 40 degrees, so she used to work for Ribble Farm and Sharrock, so she's got her own business now, so she's kindly offered giving all the veg. I feel alright at the moment, it's wait till I start speaking.
Already done? Happy? Yeah. Okay, folks, we're getting a nod. Sam's got an apron on, so without further ado, we'll get going with our first session at NRB this year. It's always difficult, chefs come out their own kitchens, their own environment, and it's never easy doing demonstrations. So this is Dan's first one, isn't it, Chef? So can we have a warm round of applause for Dan? Just give him a bit of encouragement. And he's going to tell us what he's going to cook.
So basically I'm going to do a beetroot and duck salad, which I did in my comp last year. It's quite simple, but the flavours are really strong, and it's all local seasonal. So basically I'm going to start by cooking the duck breast in the water bath. I usually do it in the oven, but the oven's not very good here, so we're going to start by 12 minutes in the water bath. Just leave that in there, be nice and pink. A lot of it we have prepared. So Sam, do you want to start dicing the beetroot, which we're just going to pickle? We're going to fill the big cigars with goat's curd, and then pickle some more beetroots. We've got nice flowers, and then we're going to do a honey and black beet dressing. And that's basically all we're going to do. And there's quite a lot of waiting time for the duck, so Sam, sort that out. So, just the same as normal. So now I've got white wine vinegar. Just going to reduce that right down. And then any of the honey.
Is that any particular type of honey, or?
It's out of Northcote's garden, so.
So you got your own bees in there, yeah?
This is last year's.
Right.
So, there's not very much of it, but the bit I've got is out of Northcote. So reduce that right down. So it's kind of just a syrup. Might take some time on here. just a bit like that. Okay.
So what Danny said, he's got Sam to do the beetroot because he doesn't want to get his hands stained. And that's what happens when you win competitions, you become a diva.
Trust me, you don't. So basically the filled brick pastry is just filled a brick, rolled on like a copper pipe, oil it up and tinfoil it, and then cook it for 8 minutes and it'll turn out like that. Quite a technique we use at Northcote quite a lot, and also adds quite a lot of texture to your dish. The goat's curd is Legan's goat curd, 1 day old. That's basically just going to go in there. All we've done with that is just broke it down with a fork, nothing else, and a bit of salt. That is it. Do like 1 more slice, that should be enough. With the duck breast, basically when the duck breast is going to cook, we're going to caramelise it, just with some icing sugar, and you'll get a really crispy skin on it. And then we'll dress the yellow beetroot which we're cooking here in the duck fat of the juice of the duck. Do that one, that should be enough, I think. So pick on the beetroot in a 100 ml of white wine vinegar to 50 ml water to 50 gram of sugar, with some Baileys and thyme infusion in there as well. Them beetroots are ready in a minute. Don't want to drain them in a minute, them yellow ones. Take that some.
So currently both these young lads are at Northcote Manor. Sam's moving very shortly, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to Le Manoir. But what's a typical day like for you then, Dan, when you're prepping and cooking?
Honestly?
Fairly honestly. Remember that there are, members of the public in the audience. Don't put it in chef speak.
Day like in the... Where do you start? 8:30 in the morning. We start. We get briefed on what we have to do. Usually quite a lot. Then we all get our own job tasks and what we need to do in the day. We've all got to take care of our own sections. And then by 11 o'clock we have to be set for the lunch. Then we all go to the kitchen, half an hour? Try and get some food in a break. Then service starts. 12 till about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Service can range between anything between 30 covers and 100 covers. Also having a private dining room and a chef's table is quite difficult. What would you say? Difficult at times, due to being so busy. Some days we'll only do like 50 and some days we'll do like 120. But yeah, we're up and then we stop at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hopefully we'll get out on a break for about 3 hours. And then start again at 5 and do the same process in the evening. The evening's a bit more different as it's a longer menu at the night. A lot more a la carte residents and a lot more relaxed atmosphere in the restaurant, I gather. And what time do we finish? 11? 11, 10, 11 at night. Sometimes you get off a bit earlier if you're lucky.
Depends on how busy it is.
But yeah, that's the quiet day at Northcote. That's a quiet day at Northcote.
Yeah.
So basically I'm going to do some spring onions on the salad as well. I'm not going to do anything to them. Just leave them to the one side. We're also going to do some pickled shallots.
So Danny was talking about a lot of the produce coming out of the garden at Northcote. If you're not familiar with the competition, the Northwest Young Chef competition has been going for about 14 years now, and we reckon over that time, the whole thing is about young chefs using local and seasonal produce, which was quite funky back in the day. It's quite common these days, people using regional produce, but they've got to cook a starter, main course and dessert in 2.5 hours, 2 portions of each, and just showing strong evidence of regional and seasonal produce. We've still got entries are still open for this year's competition, so which is kindly sponsored by Essential Cuisine, who are just over there. I've got leaflets there if anybody does fancy entering or having a chat to me about it. I'm sure Dan would recommend doing it.
Yeah, it's a great stepping stone and a great chance to kind of get your name out there and doing things like this, even though basically I never thought about competitions at all really. It was more Northcote in general who told me to just go for it, and I got there in the end. It was quite easy because Northcote's quite a lot about local seasonal produce, so it was quite common knowledge what I needed to do. A great supporter from Nigel and Lisa. Lisa mainly guiding through the dishes, quite a lot of mentoring and spending a lot of my time off in the kitchen just doing the dishes up. And then coming to the final you don't really think about the final when you go into the semi-final, you just think about getting through the semi-final. And the final was a bit more, what would you say, more?
Well, we bring the winners from 6 counties together, so it's a bit more intense, and we have 5 judges at the final. Stephen Doherty is someone who always helps me every year, so they're kind of under scrutiny a bit more in the final.
So basically with the dressing, all I've done there is took the honey and white wine right down and then added the olive oil just to make a nice syrupy, like stop the honey from cooking basically, and that's your finished dressing. Did you get a bowl for that, son? It's alright. It's alright, leave it in that. With the yellow beetroots, all I'm going to do is just leave them as they are, and from the duck fat of the duck breast, we're just going to glaze them in the duck fat. There's that water bath. Yeah. Just.
Dan, I know you were saying that Lisa was really supportive of you, but
Yep.
can you remember what she said when you were going to the Lancashire heat? Because I thought you were relieved that when you won the Lancashire heat. I said you'd be chuffed now going back to work.
Yeah, basically the words out of Lisa's mouth was, if I don't win, don't come back. So yes, I still had a job. And this year, got the nationals in.
Yeah. So what happens if they win the county heat? They go through to the regional, which is the Northwest final, and then from that, then they go through to the national semi-finals in Sheffield, and then hopefully, and then you'll go on to the final because you're going to win the semi, aren't you?
I am going to win the try.
So hopefully the journey ends up at the National Young Chef of the Year final.
I've also qualified for the semi-final of the Royal Culinary Arts as well in Birmingham, which gives another shot at the nationals as well. So I've got 2 shots at the nationals this year. Hopefully, one of them will come successful. Hopefully, there's quite a lot of classical in the culinary arts, which is quite different to what I do. We don't really do much classical cooking at Northcote, unless Nigel's in the kitchen. Well, his take.
So just a quick question there then. We're going to go through it anyway, but what were the other dishes that you cooked for the competition?
Semi-final I did a lamb Wellington. It was April last year, so new season's lamb was just coming in, and we also had Formby asparagus, which had just come in, which I did with a sweet and sour turnip and a lamb jus. And then the dessert was a rhubarb trifle. Many of the judges didn't say it was a trifle, did they? But we replaced a sponge from the trifle with a donut, and did a donut on the side. So basically, you had your panna cotta, your jelly, and your compote, and then on the side you had the donut, which was acting as a sponge. So it was quite a different way of doing it. And then in the final, we had the skill test in the final.
Yeah, you have a set starter. Yeah.
Which was asparagus, which I'm quite familiar with anyway, poached egg and hollandaise. And I did many different ways of doing it, thinking, shall I do it differently? Shall I do it, try and twist it? And I just thought, the best way of doing it is just plain and simple. And that's what I did, plain and simple. And it kind of did enough to get me through. And then my other dishes was a guinea fowl cooked in newspaper with like a pea and lettuce emulsion with the guinea fowl sauce. And then I made like a fritter out the leg and stuffed it with garlic and butter. So it was like a little leg Kiev type of thing. And then for the dessert, I did a take on strawberries and cream. With the strawberries and cream, we did a panna cotta, froze the panna cotta, and then dipped it in a strawberry chocolate. So when you cracked the strawberry chocolate, you had the cream that came out, and then did it with macerated strawberry, and I did it on like a chocolate soil, so it kind of looked like it was coming out of the ground as well. It was quite a nice little twist to the dish, which must have been enough. We are just waiting for the duck breast now. Just do the one.
So I think what we're looking for in the competition is, say, we're in the kitchen with them for 2.5 hours anyway, and it's everything from looking at the menu, getting marks for local and seasonal produce in there, and then we look at the way they work during the session. So as well as obviously the presentation and taste of the final dishes. So it's everything from knife skills, cooking skills, and through the menus they try and reflect that to show us different cooking techniques. So whether it's pan frying, whether it's braising, casseroling, that kind of thing, pastry making, donuts. Right, so you're putting some talc in the pan now, are you?
I am. Just move it down a little bit. So duck breast's been in for 15 minutes. So it's still pink in the middle. And basically just going to finish it in the pan. So score the skin. Season the flesh up. When the pan's hot enough, you just render the fat right down and keep pouring any excess fat off. I think it's going to take some more cooking, that. Yeah, please.
Actually, Dan's doing a great job. Just to explain, we've only got this small gas stove this year because we've had to change the type of gas that's being used. So this normally belongs on a yacht, apparently. So the gas pressure's not brilliant.
It's all right. Sam, can I get some more of the picking liquor? So any excess fat coming off the duck, just pour onto your beetroots just to dress the beetroots up. Do you want to pickle the short things, Sam? Let's probably use that tub there. Just get rid of them out there.
You got a few thank yous to say, have you?
Yeah.
You've got some produce here.
The produce was all off at Elaine at Fresh at 4 Degrees, which she was about somewhere, but I think she's gone. She's on 515. All the stuff that she gave me was free, just to kind of promote her as a business. And also Susie's Teals for providing the water baths and things. In the competition, we don't get to use water bath, do we?
No, not at the moment, no. It was a big debate we had, yeah, that Roost Scholarship weren't using them at the time, and you couldn't use them in the Nationals, so we took them out. And don't forget to mention Chef's Table, because she stood there for the plates.
I don't know what you're on about there. No. And also the chef's table was supplying the plates. There's no plates behind here at all. Pardon? 220, just round the corner. So I just caramelise the duck breast just like that. It gives it a nice, like, sweet flavour to the duck. Then we'll rest it for about 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, just. So right, now we've dressed these beetroots in the duck fat. Bit of salt. And as soon as the duck breast rests, we'll be able to plate the salad up. Do you want to fill the cigars?
And then the other thing that we do for the competition, once we've got our 6 finalists together, we normally take them off somewhere for a masterclass. And last year we went to Manchester House and they sat round the table while Aidan did a dem for them, and they had lunch at the chef's table, all the 6 finalists together.
Yeah, met Pierre Kaufman.
I know.
That was the highlight of the day.
So I'm walking, we come out the lift and I walk round the corner and Pierre Kaufman stood there. And I did a stage with Pierre in about 1886, something like that it was, but a long time ago. And I went to Aidan and I said, I've just seen Pierre Kaufman at your lift, and I won't tell you what he said because it's not repeatable, but he didn't know he was going to be there for lunch. So we had the 6 young chefs and Pierre Kaufman there all having lunch. And he had a good chat, didn't he?
Yeah, he come over a good chat. I stood more interested in the girls. But yeah, it was good to meet him, especially as a surprise walking out the lift. So we'll keep one of them for the plates, and people can come and try them. Do you want to is that left? So Sam's just filled these with the goat's curd. Let's find that duck breast. Done it again, hasn't it? Definitely no slant. No.
So when we start getting to this stage in the competition, normally starts getting a little bit frantic as we've got, the chefs trying to get all the 6 plates of food out. But we've looked at them, the way they've worked. We've looked at the menus. We've looked at the different cooking techniques. Ultimately, then we're going to look at what it looks like on the plate. But it all comes down to what it tastes like as well. Flavour, taste, textures in there, and ultimately, is it a dish that you'd pay for? You picked them this morning, have you?
Yeah, they're fresh this morning in the garden.
Out.
And just finish it with the that was my winning starter in the Lancashire Heat last year.
So run us through what's on there.
So basically, you got the duck breast at the bottom, which is caramelised, which you get the sweet and saltiness of the duck. Pickled beetroot dressed in duck fat, raw candied beetroot, and Northcote herbs and flowers, which in the summer months they are from Northcote, but they aren't today. And then the filled a brick cigar with goat's curd. And that's it.
Okay, give them a big round of applause, folks. If you do want to come up and just have a chat to Danny and have a look at the dish, that'd be great. Take pictures for social media, because that's the rules these days. That'd be great. Well done, chef. Enjoy that.
That was all right.
Glad it's all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember you still got a microphone on. And as I say, we've got like full schedule right throughout the day. The timetable's at the side up there. Midday, we've got Kenny Atkinson coming up. So if you're back here at midday, that'd be
No
great.
chips.